Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Fight Week and welcome to the official press conference ahead of a big night of boxing at the ICC in Sydney this Wednesday night that you can see live on Main Event Television, which of course is available via Foxtel and KO. Ben Damon is my name. Really looking forward to calling the action on Wednesday night. A stacked card, a lot of exciting fights, and of course it culminates in the first international opponent for the undefeated Nikita Tszyu, who takes on Lulzim Ismaili, who comes from Germany and has joined us here today. We've got plenty of the fighters who are a part of this card up at the front table as well, but as you have just heard, there is someone missing. George Rose, how are you firstly? And what's going on? Where's Michael Zarafa?
I have just been informed that he won't be here, but have been assured that he will be at the weigh-in tomorrow.
No more details from you as to what's transpired? Are you two on talking terms?
No, he'll definitely be at the weigh-in tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, I'll have to continue to probe. Has something gone wrong with regards to Michael Zarafa and his comments perhaps over recent days or anything else?
No, I was just informed just not long ago before coming to air, so, but yeah, as I said, he definitely will be at the weigh-in tomorrow.
Okay, so he's definitely fighting on Wednesday night, because we have been through similar circumstances before and we didn't get him to an event. Is there any issue with regards to him fighting on Wednesday night?
No.
You're confident in that?
Absolutely.
Do you want to say any more about Michael Zarafa, or you want me to move on?
No. Let's keep the ball rolling, eh, brother? Let's go.
Okay. Well, you got two guys either side of you there, Nikita Tszyu and Lulzim Ismaili. A really good-looking main event. What are you expecting from Nikita? The first time we've seen him in a full year.
Yeah, look, 12 months out of the ring, you don't know what you're going to get from Nikita, but we've already seen that his personality is back. We're going to see him back in the ring on Wednesday night, and anyone who hasn't seen Nikita fight, it's absolute fireworks. It's edge-of-the-seat stuff. He's the most entertaining guy in the ring in Australia, and it's not always for great reasons. Sometimes he likes to push boundaries and really test himself out, and other times he just comes out in the first round and blows people away. So you never know what you're going to get, and when you've got a really tough international opponent like this after a 12-month layoff, anything can happen.
What are you expecting from Nikita, though? Because we have seen, as you mentioned, there's some reckless performances, taking a couple of shots to give big ones back, but he says he's been working on a lot of things. Do you think that we see a boxer version of Nikita in this fight, or is it fireworks as per usual?
Look, the boxer version of Nikita is absolutely beautiful to watch. We don't always get that, but the other version that we get is still just as bloody entertaining as the beautiful boxer. Like I said, I'm nervous when he really pushes those boundaries on us at times during fights, but it's all part of the entertainment. I think as a viewer, you're never going to be disappointed watching a Nikita Tszyu fight.
Lulzim is undefeated in 12 fights, a well-credentialed opponent who comes to us from overseas. What a sort of a threat do you think that he poses to Nikita in this fight?
Yeah, look, I watched him move yesterday and I thought he looks fantastic. He's definitely come here to win. I think when you're an undefeated fighter, you walk different, you talk different, you've got a different vibe about you. When you haven't tasted defeat, it's a different vibe that you bring. You know, it's a very tough fight for Nikita, and I really like the look of him. But yeah, as I said, he's coming here to spoil our plans. Our plans are to take Nikita all the way to the top, but he looks fantastic, and he's a guy who could upset the plans that we have.
The co-main event, George, Michael Zarafa against Mikey Dahlman. Mikey he has 18 wins and 16 knockouts, a big puncher. That's still the co-main event, yeah?
Yeah. Look, I mean, same thing with Mikey. Seeing me, he's got a really good energy about him. He's a very exciting guy. He's very happy to be out here. He was enjoying Bondi Beach yesterday, and I think that he's a guy who could really try to upset the plans there too.
And that fight's happening.
It's happening, brother.
Yeah. Further down the card, we've got Brock Jarvis, who returns. The first time we've seen him since he went down to Keith Thurman. He takes on Sam Beck. We get a good chance to see Sam for the first time on one of these shows, but he is a well-credentialed fighter with 7 fights, 7 wins and 4 stoppages as well. What do you expect from that fight?
Yeah, look, what we've put together with this undercard is there's some really great matchups. If anyone follows Australian boxing, you know that all of these guys can fight, and they're very well-matched fights. So if you're tuning in, make sure you get in early. It's the first time I've seen Sam Beck face-to-face, and he's a big human. He's a very big human. I like Brock Jarvis. I think he's a fantastic fighter, but I think he's really in for a tough matchup on Wednesday night, and that's definitely going to be one to watch. Ahmed Reda stepping up against Bruno Tarimo, another fantastic fight. Anything could happen in that one. Absolutely anything. I know Bruno's been very avoided in the past, but Ahmed's also a guy who says, "I'll fight anyone, anytime," and he wants to get to the top. So he knows that fighting someone like Bruno gives him that opportunity to move on to bigger things, and it will be a fight that'll be one to watch. Jazzy Parr is an absolute star, and her fight will be a very tough one as well. I think there's some really good matchups as well in the prelims, so tune in early because I really like the fights that we put together on this undercard, and a big shout out to our matchmakers for making that happen. Well done, boys, because this is going to be a really good card.
Yeah, not often that you see a fighter with 6 professional fights against a fighter with 35 professional fights. This was exactly what we see with Reda against Tarimo. That the fight you're most excited about on this card?
Oh, it's up there. It's definitely up there. Look, Ahmed's a beast. He's an absolute beast. And like I said, he's a young, hungry guy who wants to get to the top. Bruno's a guy who's been up at the top. He's experienced some of the very, very tough fights. He's taken on pretty much anyone that was willing to get in with the ring with him in Australia. So this is another one of them opportunities where young bull, old bull, we'll see how they go.
Best place to watch the action, of course, on main event television in front of the heater on Wednesday night. But if you can get to the ICC in Sydney, George, how do they go about getting some tickets for this one?
Yeah, get amongst it, ticketek.com.au, jump down, get your tickets, watch it live. As I said, if you're coming down, come down early because we've got some fantastic fights on this card. Obviously topped by Nikita Tszyu at the top, but this will be a really good one. If not, kick back, you can watch it on KO absolutely anywhere, on your phone, at work, at home, wherever you want to watch it. You can kick back and watch it anywhere. That's the beauty of KO. Absolutely love it. So tune in on Wednesday night. You will not be disappointed by this card, I guarantee.
And just finally, Michael Zarafa, what's happened there? Where is he?
He will be at the weigh-in tomorrow, Ben.
Thank you, George. A 12-0 fighter. Before I talk to the fighters, though, I will talk to Glenn Jennings, who joins us up here at the top table, the manager of Nikita Tszyu. This is a big step up in terms of where Nikita is on the global sphere. He's 11 in the world at the moment. He takes on an international opponent for the first time. Glenn, tell us about the narrative of this fight and why it is such an important one for Nikita.
Thanks, Ben. I thought I was coming up here as a interpreter.
You can if you want.
Because a few people this week have not quite understood Nikita, but that's our quirky friend and that's how we like it. Look, it's easy to forget that Nikita Tszyu, going into his 11th fight, has sat up on this top row every single time at a press conference. And every single time he's delivered. And he's undefeated. And he will remain undefeated on Wednesday night. And we back Nikita all the way. As George said earlier, our plan is to run Nikita all the way to the top. And to do that, you've got to have confidence in your fighters. Now, for most fighters that come through, they get an opportunity to come through on undercards and an opportunity to develop. Nikita come from an 8-year break in boxing straight onto the big stage, the big platform with no limits. That in itself is an amazing outcome. And each time he goes into the ring, you've seen the improvement. And I'm sorry to say this to our German friend, but the improvement with Nikita in the last 12 months is going to well and truly place him on the next level. And we hope to take Nikita to the international level and start fighting him overseas as early as next year, all going well. We don't get too carried away in boxing, as you know, it's a brutal sport. But there's a reason why Nikita Tszyu sits at the top of the table.
What do you want him to do next? Should he be able to get past his opponent, Lulzim Ismaili, in this fight, Glenn?
Oh, look, there's lots of talk. No Limits and myself talk regularly about the pathways forward for the guys. There's one particular fight that keeps on getting mentioned, probably would have got a bit more of a mention today, but he hasn't arrived. Not too sure about that. I know you've got some questions about that, Ben, that you might want to ask of George. But he's not here. But look, the Tszyu v Zerafa story will continue to build. And I'm sure that rivalry at some stage will be extinguished one way or another. But in terms of where and when, you'll have to wait for that, because in this sport, you're only as good as the fight in front of you. And I'm sure Nikita would love the opportunity to get in the ring with Michael Zerafa. But there's a lot that goes into play to make sure that that's the right decision for the right time.
If you were in George's position, having dealt with a similar situation once before, Glenn, do you think he should have any concerns about Michael Zerafa taking part on Wednesday night? Should we be calling Stevie Spark, do you think?
I'm more concerned that neither of the fighters are here for that fight.
I think Mikey's just over there, actually. He was going to join us. He was going to take your seat, but...
Welcome. Good to see you. Look, I don't know the circumstances why Michael's not here. Michael can answer for that tomorrow. I hope he turns up. I think that's going to be a cracker of a fight. And for anybody that's not been to a sold-out ICC show, you've got no idea what you're missing out on. This card that these guys have put together is a ripper, and I don't think there's a bad fight amongst it. I think it's going to be a real entertaining night, and you're going to see a bit of everything. You're going to see some rip and tear fights. You're going to see some classy boxing fights, but you're going to be very well entertained. And I think Michael Zerafa and Mikey Dahlman from the United States will be a great fight to watch. And I'm sure the outcome of that fight will have some play in the ring afterwards as to what Michael Zerafa wants next, and if he's prepared to put his hand up for Nikita Tszyu.
All right, well, we look forward to that. Thank you, Glenn. I'll now talk to Lulzim Ismaili. As I mentioned, he's 12-0 as a professional and joins us here in Australia. He has a translator who's joined us late here as well. Firstly, welcome to Australia. How's his time been so far since arriving from the other side of the world?
Lulzim po të vesin si po kalon në Australi prej se ki ardh prej spari. Qish po të vjen në Australia, vendi kur ki ardh? Qish doket?
Përpamjen e Australisë.
Sidneja, si doket kur ki
Valla
ardh?
duket shumë mirë, pastër mirë, njerëzit e mirë.
He's saying thank you for welcoming me, and he's saying that it's a beautiful city and he hope he can put on a good show.
What does he know about Nikita Tszyu? I'm sure he's watched some fights and some videos. What sort of a threat is Nikita to him?
Po të ves a ki këshir video Nikita tu bo ndeshje, qa po mendon?
Për kundërshtari.
Po.
Është bokser i mirë, por ne kemi bërë detyrat e shtëpisë, do japim maksimumin dhe le të fitojmë më i miri.
He says that he has studied Nikita Tszyu, watched a lot of his fights, and he studied him well and he's well prepared.
And what makes him confident that he wins this fight?
Qysh të vjen konfidenci, qa po t'jap konfidencë ki më mujtë në qitë deshe?
Si?
Konfidenci jotë, ku i merë konfidencin, më mujtë Nikita Tszyu?
Valla se kuptoj.
Konfidenci jotë, për shembull, ku i merë konfidencin, a je konfidencë se e mund Nikita Tszyu?
Po, synimi është fitoria dhe asgjë tjetër.
He feels that he's very confident and he would put on a good show and possibly win,
S'kena
yes.
çka humbim ne, s'kena çka humbim, kena ardhur këtu për luftë.
He came for war and that's what he'll give.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you so much for your assistance, and
Welcome.
thank you to Lulzim. We go now to Nikita Tszyu. Nikita, you've been the focus of a lot of attention over the last week or so. A lot of different stories are grabbing mainstream headlines, particularly your diet. What did you have for breakfast today?
Unfortunately, my dairy cow is staying with her father in a different paddock, so I didn't have any of the expectations.
What about your weight? How are you doing? It's been a long time since you've had to get down to this weight. We know you've struggled a couple of times previously. How are you going this far out from a weigh-in?
This last year, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on just everything that I've been doing, and it's made me more in tune with myself. I've figured out a lot of things with my body, how my body wants to function, how it wants to work, and I've got a very good conversation going with myself. So this weight cut has just been a breeze.
And what about your hand? A lot of talk around your left hand that was the problem that kept you out for all this time. How is it so close to a big fight like this?
You know, if it hurts, it hurts. We're in a fight. I don't care. When shit hits the wall, when shit hits the fence, it's going to become a dogfight.
Is that what you're expecting? Your opponent's just said that he is here for war. What style of a fight are we going to see?
From the experiences in my last few fights, I've learned to expect the unexpected, to be taken to dark places. I know what it feels like to be in those dark places. I have a distinct memory of it. So now that I've been there, I know how to handle myself when I'm there. I know the adjustments that I want to make when I'm there. So I'm ready for everything.
You've got a pretty good judge of character. You've had a look at Lulzim and seen his body language and the way that he's conducted himself the last few days. How confident do you think he feels that he can beat you in this fight?
Everyone has to be confident. This is a brutal sport. We step into a ring and we fight with each other. In this sport, we forget about the laws that bind our society. We forget that there's law and order. Two men go into this ring and they fight it out till death. That's the kind of mentality I'm going in with it, and I hope that's the same mentality that he's coming in with it. And we do this for the entertainment of the public. It's a crazy way to make a living, but I've learned to embrace it.
How does it feel for you going into a fight for the first time as a father as well? I'm willing to do anything for her. My daughter, she means everything to me, and the thought that there's another person trying to take away food from her mouth, that's a huge drive. The dark things that I want to do to people at the thought of them taking anything away from my daughter. So would this be the most motivated you've ever been for a fight then?
You be the judge.
Got to get your thoughts on a potential future rival in Michael Zarafa, who isn't with us here today. Do you know what's gone on there, and what are your thoughts on him not being a part of the press conference today?
I haven't really been told much about it, but I think George over here has a bit of PTSD. I can hear the way he was responding before. He was really not liking it.
I'm confident.
Is that the fight that you would like next? There's talk about that fight. There's also talk about this fight with Brock Jarvis. Would you like to fight one of those guys? Should you be able to succeed on Wednesday night against Lulzim?
We take one step at a time. I don't ever want to look over an opponent. There is dangers with anyone that steps into the ring. So firstly, we have to focus on Lulzim, and then we plan ahead from there.
All right, we'll face off these two fighters very shortly, but your final words, Nikita, to finish the press conference ahead of your return after a year out of the ring against Lulzim Ismaili on Wednesday night on Main Event. Your final words.
I'm glad to be back. It's been a year. It's been a long year, an enjoyable year, but also a frustrating year. It's time to bring some brutality back.
The Butcher returns this Wednesday night, and now we'll face off these two fighters who do form our main event. On Main Event this Wednesday night, George Rose, if you could get both Nikita Tszyu and Lulzim Ismaili into position, these are the two fighters that will headline this stacked no-limit boxing card that you can watch live at the ICC in Sydney and, of course, on Main Event television, available via Foxtel and KO. A stacked card, of course, all the action live on Main Event. Thank you, gentlemen. And thank you all for joining us. We'll see you at the weigh-in tomorrow. I'm Ben Damon, and I'll see you at the fights.